Hello and welcome to our series on getting to know dual credit. My name is Blair and today I'm going to take you through the basic configuration of the dual credit management system. And like many student systems, dual credit is very student-centric. And before we really do any real work with students, it's important to have the back end set up. So we're going to spend most of our time in this session under the admin menu. So let's begin. I'm going to begin talking about schools, which is a very straightforward one. Obviously, schools are connected to programs and programs are connected to students, so you have to have them in line before you begin. So very straightforward. It's within your control. You can certainly add additional new schools. You can drill into the details of existing schools and make any changes that you need to do. Very straightforward. What I really wanted to talk about is how things are removed in dual credit. Typical scenario is a school is closing down or merging with another school, and you'll be tempted to remove it from here, and actually that's the right thing to do. But it's always scary when you do this because up comes a warning, and are you sure, Blair, that you really want to remove this? And I am going to click OK. And it did disappear from the list because it's no longer an active school. But the reality is dual credit knows that there's history attached to this school, and we can't remove history from students and programs. So on a go-forward basis, I can no longer assign students to that school, but you'll see that if I show inactives, that Apollo Secondary is actually still there. All of the history with students and programs is still there, and I've just chosen to remove it from active duty. If for some reason that was a mistake and I wanted to reactivate Apollo Secondary, it's very straightforward to do that. Now on the other hand, if I was to remove a school such as the School of Rock that had never been used and had no history associated with it, then when I remove, it is absolutely and forever permanently removed because dual credit knows that it can do that. So in summary, it is actually very difficult to remove information that's connected to other things. And the idea is that you will always maintain the history of information. And this model is true pretty much no matter where you are in dual credit. We also have a list of local providers. These aren't driven by any business rules for the ITA, they're just your organizers. So as you're developing your programs, which we'll look at in a minute, you can specify who the provider is. And again, the model's the same. You can add, you can remove, you can choose to mark them inactive and that kind of thing. Dual credit has a list of trades, and these are synchronized with the Industry Training Authority's system every evening. So it's very accurate, an up-to-date list of the current or active trades that are available to your students in their programs. We have a convenient way of just drilling in, which takes you directly to the source of the true information and the most accurate information about the trades. We also have a master list of programs, and programs can be developed for ACIT or for SSA, trade sampler, skills exploration, or even local programs that are really only run in your district. Try and think of it like kind of like a class, and you would enroll students into it. And the more we can define about the class, the less we have to do when we're enrolling students into it. So let's just go into the details of an ACIT class here. You can see that this is an aircraft maintenance technician trade. You can see that we've got it aligned with one of our providers. Just go down here. The instructor type, location, and delivery model are brand new constructs with dual credit and with the Industry Training Authority, and it's likely that these are not populated for all of your programs. So we do recommend for homework, if there is such a thing, that you have a once through of all of your programs And make sure that you do have your instructor type, location, and delivery model defined for all of your programs. If it's an ACIT program, you can define sort of the default rate on your intake invoices as well as completion. And I know that there are exceptions to this, and a good example of this would be heavy-duty mechanics where the rates are higher. So you have control over that. There's some additional definitions about, whether it's a foundation course, the level of exam type, and whether or not the program's active at all. The very last part, and it's really important for you to review this, is what schools can actually participate in this program. And typically you would say all programs, but if there's some reason, it could be geographical, there could be other, where a couple of schools just can't send their students to this program, then you would do this. So this really serves as the gatekeeper for who can and who cannot. I'm just going to open this wide up for the moment. Now, there are times, we had mentioned trades earlier, how the trades are synchronized every night, and you're in control of your programs. But there's times where programs, trades from the Industry Training Authority will be retired, and they will be superseded by other trades. And sometimes you'll have to contact them to find out exactly what the appropriate trade is for your program. You can see here that I have this is actually a good alert because it's telling me that my program inboard outboard is associated with a trade that's no longer active. So I'm going to drill directly into that program and inboard outboard mechanic, and I'm going to reassign that trade to marine mechanical technician. Now, I'm not positive that that's the correct trade for this, and that's again where we recommend you always consult directly with the ITA on your alignment of your programs and trades. And by doing that, my warning now disappears from my homepage. Last thing to talk about is your list of employers, and this is your master list of employers that you're going to engage with your SSA students. So again, they're unlimited. You can add, you can go into the details. You can see that within each employer you have basic information, you have an unlimited number of tradespeoples where you can add their certificate, and also an opportunity to upload documents and just track documents about the employer. There may be times where you don't know the employer's sponsor ID, and they may not want to give it to you either, which they have the right to do. And the nice thing is, when you register students with an employer and they don't have an ITA sponsor number, the ITA staff can actually help you and fill this number in for you. It's the one field on the employers that they actually can cooperatively help you edit. So just know that in advance. So that's been our session on configuration within dual credit, and I thank you for your time.